Hello and welcome to this Tuesday edition of Temple Update. I'm Chris Abruzzo.
And I'm Marissa Giletto. We begin today's show with students speaking up about hallway traffic at Anderson Hall. Students are complaining about the building's packed hallways, forcing them to adjust their schedules, leaving their dorms as early as 20 minutes before class. Update's Jeannie Davey has the story.
Anderson Hall is known for its busy atmosphere. As many as 200 students at a time walk through the area in between class. However, it's been busier than ever this semester.
They enforce checking IDs all the time more, and they have lanes that you have to go up and go down and stuff.
In response to the Temple professor's assault in his Anderson Hall office last year, Temple's Board of Trustees approved a $300,000 increase in the security spending for academic buildings. The doors of Anderson's first floor have been sealed to ensure no one bypasses Allied Barton security officers. This has caused more students to use the lower level entrance, increasing the volume of traffic.
Traffic in Anderson has become so common that students have to adjust their schedules around the congested halls. This is not the first time that Temple's building projects have caused frustration among students.
Well, I usually get here 20 minutes early just to beat the traffic so I can take the elevator up. But if I am, say, late, during that 10-minute switch, it's almost impossible to get up.
Students think action should be taken by the university to expand the lobby, making the traffic more manageable. However, there are currently no plans to do so.
Honestly, what the real issue is, just people, by creatures of habit, using the same door. And we have several doors that you can get into the building on that first level, not the mezzanine, but the lower level coming off of Paulette Walk. But right now, it's just a lot of talking, and we're just monitoring and seeing how we do it. And I honestly think if we can get people to use some of the other doors, you're going to see a drastic change in the backup. So we're going to work on that and see how that goes.
Regardless of the students' feelings of inconvenience, the new security measures are here to stay. From Anderson Hall, reporting for Temple Update, I'm Jeannie Davey.
Temple is responding to a published report alleging abuses in the university's track and field program. A report in the Temple
contained accusations made by student athletes against former women's track and field coach Eric Mobley. The article included claims that the university failed to take appropriate action when told of the alleged abuses. In response, university spokesman Ray Betzner told Temple Update, "University staff, including counsel, have reviewed the matters described in the Temple news story and believe that the university responded appropriately."
I think that the response itself is inappropriate. I think that there are many questions raised in our investigation that still have not been answered, and I think that the student athletes who were victimized by this program deserve an answer as to why the problems that plagued the teams for years continued for so long.
Coach Mobley resigned in June after 6 years on the job.
Temple students are currently trying to figure out the cause of a skin rash outbreak on campus. In the past year, over 100 students have complained to Temple Health Services about an itchy red bite-like irritation on the backs of their legs. The speculation is that the rash was coming from two wooden benches in the southbound Broad Street Line subway station on Cecil B. Moore. SEPTA says that they found no evidence of the outbreak of rashes from the wooden benches. They have replaced them with metal benches. Temple Update's Karina Chung has the full story this Thursday at 10 a.m.
The changes to buildings on campus continues as Walkman Hall begins to undergo renovations. The $11.5 million renovation project will offer 5 floors of classroom space, more visible entrances, and a larger internal staircase.
I think they're fantastic. There are 26 new classrooms planned for Walkman Hall, and I think it will be a terrific expansion for students learning here. There will be new classrooms outfitted with smart technology and really bring a major renovation enhancement to the building.
The renovations are expected to begin in early November and be finished in August 2015. As Temple students settle into the fall semester, they're likely to notice a major upgrade in the tech center and faster Wi-Fi access. Larry Brandolph, Associate Vice President of Infrastructure, Security, and Telecommunications, was one of those involved in the big project.
Doing over the past year is we've replaced our Meru vendor with a vendor called Aruba. It's brand new access points that we're putting into all the residence halls.
The estimated $1.7 million upgrade represents a strategic priority of the university to provide greater bandwidth and more Wi-Fi stability to serve Temple's student population.
Lewis Katz's position on the Board of Trustees remains open after his death 4 months ago. The board, which meets on campus in Sullivan Hall, has had an opening for a 36-member since May. Members say the search for a replacement is more complicated than usual because Katz was such an influential leader. The trustees say they hope to have the position filled by the end of this year.
One of Temple professors is being honored for his research paper on women in finance. The Fox School of Business Associate Professor Dr. Amir Shoham was cited by the Academy of International Business. His paper was entitled, "Do Female-Male Distinctions in Language Influence Microfinance Outreach to Women?" Dr. Shoham says he is very humbled by the publicity his award has received. The award is so highly exclusive that last year there was no award winner.
It's that time of year again. Lay's Do Us a Flavor competition lets consumers create a new kind of chip. This year, it is featuring one created by a Philadelphia local who is actually a Temple nurse. Temple Update's Nicole Bryn has the story.
Contender Mineko Spinger Macbeth, there's nothing more flavorful than the combination of wasabi and ginger.
There's just something about the two of them together that, I don't know, it sparks my taste buds.
Macbeth first heard about the Do Us a Flavor competition after the 2013 finalists were announced last year. Since then, Macbeth knew what flavor she would enter for the 2014 competition. Inspired by her Asian descent, Macbeth's taste buds were heavily influenced by her grandmother, who immigrated to America from Kobe, Japan in 1950.
Actually, my grandmother, when I first told her about it, she kind of didn't get it. She was just like, huh? But once the chips came out and we were on Good Morning America and everything kind of came together, she was really excited.
Macbeth hopes that her chip will get Lay's chip consumers to go outside of their comfort zone to try her outside-of-the-box creation.
I'm hoping that people will try to look for something a little different for once and maybe not so much cheese and not so much bacon and just have a little variety in the chip world.
The contestant whose chip gets picked as the new chip flavor not only gets their creation on shelves, but a cash prize of $1 million. For Macbeth, the cash prize would be spent towards her 3 daughters and maybe even a little for herself.
That would do a million things for my family, but most of all, I wanted to go to my girls. I really am big on education and I want them to be able to go to whatever college they want to. The only other splurge thing I want to do is I have to drive a minivan right now, you know, not by choice but by necessity. So I really love to get a car that's just for me.
Voting will end on October 18th to find out what new kind of Lay's chips you can see on shelves. If you want to vote for wasabi or any of the other flavors, you can just go to dousaflavor.com. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Nicole Bernier.
Coming up, find out where Temple ranks in education among other universities.
Also, Bryn Wassel has your Tuesday scoreboard for all Temple sports.
And will our nice fall weather continue? Jane Babien has the details. Stay tuned.
We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on line.
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
You didn't give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
U.S. News and World Report has just released the 2015 college and university rankings. Temple stayed at number 121 out of 268 universities, which is the highest ranking Temple has ever received. With new programs such as Flying 4, Temple continues to improve, which helps the university increase by 11 spots in just 4 years. Temple's goal is to make it into the top 100 universities in the country within the next few years.
Sports.
That's right. Marissa, let's head over to Bryn at the sports desk to find out what's going on this week.
Thanks, Chris. Owl fans, let's get right to it. It's no secret that the Owls dominated the Delaware State Hornets at Lincoln Financial Field this past Saturday. The Owls were able to score touchdowns on offense, defense, and special teams. The 59-0 victory against Delaware State gives Temple the boost they need before heading into conference play versus the University of Connecticut this Sunday at 4 p.m. It seemed to be a rough weekend for both the men's and women's soccer teams. The men's team fell to the University of Pennsylvania 3-0 at home on Saturday. The women's team was away this weekend. The Owls lost to the University of Delaware 2-0 and lost to LaSalle University 3-2. All-American senior Amber Utes led the 13th in the nation ranked Temple field hockey team to a 2-1 win against the Bucknell Bison on the road this past Saturday. The Owls unfortunately fell short to Drexel 1-0 on Sunday after a sudden death goal in overtime at Giese Field. The women's volleyball team had a more than successful weekend at the Big Five Invitational at the Palestra. The Owls swept LaSalle Friday night, followed by 2 more 3-0 wins versus Villanova and Penn. Conference play begins this Wednesday away at 7 p.m. against the University of Connecticut. That's it for this weekend's sports, Owl fans. Back to you in the studio, Chris.
Thanks, Bryn. Coming up on Temple Update, fall is officially upon us. Can we expect cooler temperatures?
Updates Jane Babien will tell you what to expect this week in weather.
We'll be right back.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Man, it's finally been starting to feel a lot like fall out here lately.
Yes, it has, Chris. Now let's check in with Jane at the Weather Center to find out if the fall feel will stay. Jane?
Thanks, guys. Fall may have started, but it looks like the summer sun is still here. Today we will see a high of 70 with not a cloud in sight. Skies are expected to stay clear as temperature drops to 55 degrees tonight. Tomorrow, clouds will be rolling in along with warmer temperatures. We will experience a high of 75. Winds will be moving between 6 to 9 miles per hour throughout the day. We are expecting a low of 58. Thursday will stay cloudy all day with a high of 72 and then dropping to 54 in the evening. However, the clouds will just leave in the time for the weekend once Friday brings the sun back out. Friday will reach a high of 77 and clear skies in the evening with a low of 56 degrees. Saturday continues with sun, but an increase in temperature will leave you thinking that summer is back. A high of 81 is expected as the low will only reach 60. Although fall has finally begun, don't pack away your summer clothes just yet. Fluctuating temperatures seem to be sticking around with us for some more time. All right, that's all I have for now. But for more information on weather, make sure to follow us on Twitter at TU_WeatherWatch. From Temple's Update Weather Center, I'm Jane Babien. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Jane. Now, speaking of something not so ordinary, the finding of a rare deep-sea creature just last week, a remote operated submarine from the Nautilus Live project recorded video of the creature known as the siphonophore. Here's the craziest part. The species is not only one animal, but a bunch of separate organisms living in one colony working together. The creature is related to the jellyfish, the Portuguese man-o-war. To see more footage of the Nautilus expedition discovery, visit nautiluslive.org.
Ready, set, go. Audi has granted permission by the state of California to start testing their self-driving cars for the first time in the Sunshine State. Other U.S. states and Europe have already seen Audi test their self-driving cars. Now that California has approved it, Audi can now work closer to home with its electronics research lab in the Silicon Valley. In a couple years, both Google and Nissan plan to have their self-driving cars on the market available to the public.
Well, from burning rubber to melting hearts, over 130 soldiers from the Minnesota National Guard's Chisholm base returned home from the deployment in Afghanistan. Here's a video of a toddler embracing his mother who returned home after serving 342 days. Dozens of family members and friends gathered at the Inver Grove Heights Training and Community Center in Minnesota to reunite with their loved ones who fought overseas for nearly a year.
That's all for today's edition of Temple Update. For more news and information, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and TempleUpdate.com. I'm Marissa Giletto.
And I'm Chris Abruzzo. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.